Hey everyone, thanks for joining in. We'll be starting the webinar in just another minute, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome everyone to the Social Pilot product webinar. We are excited to have you join us today as we explore the really in-demand capabilities of Social Pilot in order to improve the impact of collaboration on your marketing efforts and go to market at lightning speed with Social Pilot. Whether you're from a marketing agency, an independent brand, or a consulting professional, this webinar will help you make the most of Social Pilot to launch your campaigns faster with effective collaboration. With that said, let me introduce myself. My name is Pushkar. I lead product marketing at Social Pilot, and joining me today is Rahul Girdhar. He's a product specialist with tremendous experience and expertise in social media marketing with Social Pilot. Rahul will be walking us through some of the really smart ways to supercharge your collaborative efforts today. For those new around here, let me introduce Social Pilot briefly. Social Pilot is an all-in-one solution for managing social media marketing. The platform is trusted by an ever-growing number of 13,500 plus customers from across the world and is highly recommended on G2 for its capabilities. It helps you scale social media marketing with key capabilities of scheduling and publishing on multiple social media accounts simultaneously. In addition to these, a really popular capability for agencies is the white label subscription, where you could own the entire suite with your personalized branding to run your very own social media marketing business. And most importantly, collaboration, the hot topic of the day, where team members and clients can work together to plan, create, communicate, and publish posts smoothly. Feel free to try all these capabilities and reach out to our experts for any roadblocks in launching your social campaigns. Today, our focus is on collaboration, one of the most loved capability on Social Pilot. Let's look at why collaboration is important and how it can be beneficial for your business. Collaboration brings people together to produce some really good quality content. Take the design team and writing team working together, where they share their skills for creating a perfect post, in turn, having a positive increase on the engagement metrics. Also, aligned goals help in functioning at optimum team bandwidth, resulting in going to market faster with campaigns and ultimately delivering a high ROI for your business. Let's look at some really beneficial tips to get started on collaboration. It's essential that teams set up the processes and workflows internally beforehand to avoid any silos in execution later. That also includes defining the roles and responsibilities of everyone involved. It's good to be mindful about the fact that collaboration starts right at the brainstorming stage. And after you get your final idea, everyone on the team should co create instead of working independently. Once we get into the process of going to market, we should keep the communication open and communicate frequently within the team. And last but not the least, we should definitely make use of all the right tools to foster collaboration at your organization. Talking about Social Pilot today, we have to understand that Social Pilot has been designed for teams and clients to collaborate efficiently, meaning all the capabilities are designed to make teams more productive while they work together. You can use features such as notes, holiday calendars to ideate. You can use calendars otherwise and library to sort of collaborate on content and plan, which of course, we'll be looking at in much more detail throughout the webinar. With that said, let's look at the agenda for today's webinar. Firstly, we look at how we can set up SocialPilot and get it ready for all your team and client roles. Then Rahul will be walking us through some of the most important features that help in collaborating within our teams and also with our clients. After that, we'll be looking at how we can have discussions within teammates and see how to streamline approval workflows without clients actually having to log into SocialPilot. After that, we'll be covering how agencies can make the most of the white label capability on SocialPilot to really own collaboration for their brand with multiple clients. Once we've covered the collaboration features, we'll also be looking at some of the latest and upcoming features on SocialPilot to make you more productive as a team. Before closing today's webinar, we'll be having an elaborate Q&A session where we'll pick up as many questions as possible. In fact, you are free to ask all your questions starting right now, as we have our experts in the background ready to answer anything you might have regarding SocialPilot. You can either ask us questions on the Zoom call or also on Twitter with the hashtag FasterWithSP, as not limited to this webinar. Our team would be happy to answer any questions that are raised there as well. With that said, let's kick off our webinar and learn how to go to market faster with collaboration on SocialPilot. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Rahul to take the stage and navigate you through collaborating efficiently on SocialPilot. Over to you, Rahul.
All right. Thank you, Pushkar. Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. So today's topic of the webinar is going to be about collaboration. Here, we'll be collaborating with different teams, different clients. And once our business grows or the agency grows, we have different number of clients, different number of team members, and all of them have a unique role and responsibility. Think of it like a well-oiled machine. Every cog has its place, and so does every team member. Having these clear roles and permissions within a social media team will be a key to smooth operations and also the effective management. Each role out of these, from content creation to community management, plays a vital part. And if we clearly define these roles, this will ensure that tasks will be done efficiently and even securely. So to manage all of these team members, we need a platform that supports robust collaboration. And SocialPilot centralizes this management, offering different roles and permissions to all of our users and clients. And hey, one of the most important things, as we scale, the business and the agency grows, we need to have a streamlined process that can help manage all of our content and the clients effectively. So let's quickly jump into SocialPilot. We'll understand the setup that we have today in the account, how we can add different team members. Let's quickly jump to the dashboard in here. All right. So this is the SocialPilot account that I'll be using throughout this webinar. Let's look at the accounts which I have connected over here for the ones which I'll be scheduling content. So these are the different accounts. We have Pablo's Chicken and Soup, which is a food chain business. The other one is a podcast, that is Social Squeeze Podcast. So throughout the webinar, I'll collaborate with my team and clients while creating some content, planning out content, and we'll see how that works out. Let's also understand the different user permissions that we have and the rules we have in SocialPilot. So here, to add a new user, all I need to do is click on the invite user option. These are the 4 roles that we have. Let's start with the client. Now, adding a client to a social media tool will ensure that all the posts that I'm creating will match the brand's voice and quality. For instance, if I'm creating content for Pablo's food chain, I can draft posts, I can get his approval, and then schedule it finally. This way, the content will always be on brand and also error-free before it goes live. So while adding a client, I can simply give them access to the accounts if I have already connected those accounts. However, if I would like my client to connect those accounts, I can actually give him access to only those accounts. And once the client signs up, they can accordingly connect the accounts which I'm offering based on the contract. Not just that, the client roles is also quite dynamic. I can give them access to publish posts, wherein if some of the client would also like to create content on their own, they can do it. The permissions like analytics and social inbox can also be given to them. And here we have a new option, which is to view library. So yes, we've heard you all. We have requested an option wherein the clients could also have access to the templates that we are creating for them in the library. So that's going to be possible now, wherein clients can have full access to the library by adding some content using the posts you have stored or even the hashtags which you have been storing. For the internal team, there are these three different roles. A content scheduler, as the role explains, is for someone who will be creating content for you. You can even give them access for analytics and inbox. The key thing to remember over here is that any post that my content scheduler will be creating requires an approval before it goes live. So if a content scheduler creates any post, it then goes to the manager or the admin, which has to be approved and only then will be published. If you look at the next role of that of a manager is someone who can manage a team of content creators, designers. He will check for each post with accuracy and tone before approving any content scheduled by the content scheduler. And they can even have more access like analytics, so they can analyze how the posts have been performing and they can further enhance the future posts. If we talk about an admin, the admin, as the role explains, has access to everything. The admin and the manager can also create content, but they would not require any internal team approval. The key thing to remember about the admin is that the admin also has the access to add other team members, add all the other users, so they can decide who will be sending out the post for approval, who will be approving it, and they can manage the complete team as well. Let's look at the clients and users that we have in my account, which we'll be collaborating with. So we have Pablo, which is a long time old user for me. The client will be involved in the content creation process when I create content. However, Pablo as a client does not really have any advanced customizations or requirements. He just wants to monitor the content that I'll be scheduling for him, but not approve or create content on his own. We also have three team members here, Donna, Rachel, and Javi. Donna is the admin over here who adds all the other team members, sets up permissions for all of those. Rachel is a content scheduler who will be creating all the content. Her job over here is to make sure the content is timed perfectly and runs smoothly. She can plan out content and then send it out to Harvey or Donna for approval. Harvey will be the manager who will be managing different sets of content creators and designers as well. He can check the accuracy of each post before it goes live, and he can even create content on his own. We have a new client in here whose name is Mike. He is actually owning Squeeze podcast. Mike over here as a client has some additional requirements as well. He would like to create content on his own. He would like to see analytics, inbox, and even access the templates. Furthermore, Mike would also want to approve content once it goes live, which is a part of the client approval. So let's quickly learn how to set up the client approval and how I can decide which of the accounts would actually need an approval before any of my posts go live. Now, as an agency or as a business, I would know not all of my accounts or all of my clients would actually be needing approval. Some of them might want. So in order to assign approver, all I need to do is click on any one of the accounts in the manage account section here, and I can assign an approver in here. All I need to do is ensure that the need client approval is checked here. I can ensure Mike is an approver in here. So what happens is that any post that I'll be creating now for Social Squeeze podcast will have to be approved by Mike before it goes live, which is actually a client approval workflow. However, there's nothing to worry about. In case Mike has been quite occupied or busy, he's not able to approve the content. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he did not get enough time. Me as an admin, owner, or a manager can always bypass the client approval as well. So I can bypass that approval process and make sure that the post still goes live if Mike has not approved the content. So that's how I can add all of my team members. I can set up approvals within my team with the help of content scheduler. And I can also set up external approval, which can be done by the clients. To collaborate further with my team, I also have some content stored within the content library. Now it's a great place for me to share content with my team members and also store it for myself. I have different post ideas for Pablo's food chain, also for the podcast. I've also stored certain hashtags. Now, this content in the library would not just be visible to me, but also to all the other team members, and we'll try to create content out of these files. So we understood the different roles that we have in SocialPilot for each and every team members. And before we add any new team member, it's very important that we make sure the roles are added in the right manner. To help you understand the rules better, I also have a chart over here which can help you understand what is possible for a manager, admin, content scheduler, and a client. And a good thing to do right now will be to take a screenshot. So whenever you are adding your next team member or client, you can look at all the permissions and make sure you are adding them in the right way. All right. So once I have set up my team and I've set up all the clients with the approval workflow, I have the content ready in the platform as well. Now it's going to be the time where I'll be collaborating with my team and my clients within the dashboard. So I'll be using some features like collaborating with drafts on dates, how I can collaborate and work together with my team on the drafts. It could be with graphic designers, copywriters. We also have a new feature, which is notes on calendar, which can act as a placeholder. We'll be collaborating on different posts, which have also been published if we need to make any last minute changes, and also learn how to notify other team members or clients once we want to make any changes. All right. So now let's jump to the platform to understand more of the same. Here we go. So the best place to collaborate with my team or create any content for my clients is going to be the calendar. Now, once I am here in the calendar, I can look at all the content that has been scheduled across all the different social media platforms. However, if I want to filter it, that's again possible. I can filter it based on an individual client, which gives me a better client view. But not just that, we have a new feature called tags. So while creating some content, I can add a tag to it like this, which can help me categorize the post. It could be based on different campaigns, type of content that I'm publishing, and I can directly filter all the posts based on any of the tags that I've added right here. This is how it works. Now, once I want to make some changes to the post, let's try to make changes to the post that have already been scheduled. So we see a post over here, which is for Social Squeeze podcast. Let's say it's already been scheduled, but I would like to maybe make some changes in this. So I can directly edit the post myself, wherein which I can make the changes to the caption. In case I want to make any of the other changes, I can also do that. And by the way, a new feature over here is a thumbnail. So in case my team has actually forgotten to add a thumbnail, I can select any of the thumbnails from the given option, or I can even add a thumbnail from the cloud integrations that we have if I have it stored over there as a custom thumbnail. And in all of our previous webinars, we've discussed how it's very important for me to add a thumbnail and how it can directly impact the reach of my post and the overall viewership as well. So I can start making all the changes that I want to make, any last minute changes. However, if it's not me who has to make the changes and I would want to request my team members, that's also something which is going to be possible. So here in the comments option, I can tag my team. Let's say I would want Harvey to maybe change the caption. I can tag him right here and he will accordingly be notified since he has been tagged. Or if I would want to tag any other team member, that is also going to be possible. There's a small difference in here with team and public. It's that whenever I add a comment for the team, it's only going to be visible to my internal team. However, if I make it a public comment, it would also be shown to my client. Maybe in case I want to ask Mike about something, I can directly add a comment in the public option, which would notify Mike, and this comment would also be visible to him to make any changes or to communicate with me within the platform. And this is how I can collaborate while communicating with all of my team members and my clients. So this is something wherein I'm collaborating on an existing post. But what if I want to collaborate on a new post? Let's say there's an idea which I have in mind. For example, my client Pablo would always want me to create a post on World Pizza Day, and I want a particular note to be there as well. So this is a note that I can add. To add a new note, I just need to add on the plus icon over here, create a note, and I can simply name it over here. I can even add a color to this, which will show up in the notes right here. Now, this note is going to act up as a reminder and as a placeholder. So my entire team remembers to create a post over here. Not just that, if I want notes at a particular time of the day, I can even do that in the weekly and the daily view. So I can pick up the exact time that I want the note to be available on. So, select the title of the note and select a color, which would also be shown to all of my team members then, and we can start working on that. But what if there's a post I'm just planning to create? I'm not really sure what the content is going to be about. I would want my team to collaborate on it. How do I go about it? So for that, I can simply click on a date and I can start creating a post. Let's say this is a post on create a post here, and I can save it as a draft with the date. So what happens, this particular draft is going to be visible to my entire team. They can all see this draft. Let's say the copywriter can come in here. They can start adding the caption in here. In case I have already stored the caption for them in the content library, they can directly add the caption in here as well. They can also add images from any of the other sources that can be done by my graphic designer, so can himself log in, or he can simply save those media files in the cloud integrations. And by doing so, I can collaborate with my team on a future post. I can also leave comments for them, which can act as a reminder, an additional notification, and would nudge them to start working on this post. So here's a post which I'm planning in a future date, and all of my team members can collaborate together on just one single post, create it, and then finally schedule it on a future date and time. So these are a few ways how I can save a lot of time by collaborating with different types of users within my team. And it's all a very streamlined process. Even communication, planning, scheduling, everything will be available in just this one tool. So that's about collaboration. Over to you, Pushkar.
That's awesome. There's so much we can do when it comes to collaborating on SocialPilot, right? Especially with creating content and planning. Thanks for that insightful and elaborate walkthrough, Rahul. I'm sure that everyone here is getting new ideas to set up their collaborative go-to-market flows already. There are so many questions that are already coming in. Can we address some of those, Rahul, right now?
Sure, we can go with it.
Awesome. So one of the most common questions that we see is how do my designers and copywriters collaborate on the same content? What is the best possible workflow?
You can add your copywriters and also your graphic designers to the platform, wherein which they will have an option to collaborate. There are two ways. Either we can set up an approval workflow, which we are going to understand in a bit. The copywriters, as I mentioned, can, for example, this is a draft, so I can directly start collaborating with my team on this draft itself. I can even leave comments. Let's say I want to tag my graphic designer. Let's say Harvey is the graphic designer. I can ask him to please add media. Accordingly, he will receive a notification. He can directly add the media over here. Let's say Rachel is a copywriter. I can ask him to please add the caption. And accordingly, I can start collaborating. Each of them will be notified. They can edit the post themselves. And once they've done and the post has been created, I can then select my accounts and schedule it as we have learned how to do. I hope that answers the question.
Cool. Yeah. Another really common question that we see is how do I add more team members if I've exhausted my limit?
So I'm sure some of you might have faced that issue. You can have as many team members as you want. That's never really an issue. Let me quickly show you the plans as well. Every plan has a different number of team members. For example, in the agency plan, if you have exhausted the limit of 6 users, you can add on more number of users by paying $5 a month for every additional user slot. But don't forget, in the agency plus plan, we have unlimited number of users. So if you have a long list of users, I think this could be the right plan for you.
Great. Thanks for that, Rahul. So on that note, let's move on to the next bit of collaboration, the approval process. In the upcoming walkthrough, we'll see how we can discuss changes on posts and get client approvals without them actually having to log into SocialPilot, and then take a quick look at how client dashboards actually look. Let's get started. Over to you, Rahul.
All right. So as we were talking about earlier in the webinar, once we have a team that has a significant size, we would need to streamline our process as well. And the best way to do it is to add approvals. So here we are going to understand how to internally approve the content within the team if someone in my team wants to approve the content, and also how to set up client approval and how this approval also works in action. There's an amazing feature we're going to cover, approvals on the go, how clients can approve without logging in. And also we'll have a glimpse of a personalized dashboard, which will be created for our clients. So let's jump into the platform to understand more of the same. All right. Uh, Before creating some posts or understanding the approval workflow, let's quickly look at the users as well so we know how the approval would work like. We have these three users, Rachel, Harvey, and Donna. So if Rachel schedules some content, she's a content scheduler. It has to be approved by the admin or the manager within the team. And then it can further be sent to a client, wherein Pablo does not really want to approve, but Mike would really want to approve. So to get started with the content creation, let's jump to Rachel's account and let's start creating some content and see how it can work. All right, here we are. So here we are in Rachel's account, and let's start creating some content from the content scheduler. And the best way to do it is again in the library. I already stored some templates for her. So all she needs to do is get started with the content creation. So we'll create or we'll actually schedule two posts, not actually create. It will be a reel for the podcast and a carousel post for Pablo's food chain. In our previous webinars, we have understood how to edit a particular post, how to get the highest reach and engagement by adding the first comment, optimizing the caption. So if you want to learn more about creating, you can definitely watch a video for that. Let's simply schedule this post on Pablo's Chicken and Soup, which is going to be these accounts. Let's schedule on Facebook. Let's say the particular post is to be published on the 25th of September. So here we see. If I create a content from Rachel's account, it will show the post has already been sent for approval. And I can even verify the same in the pending review section. This is the one post which is pending approval. Let's create another post for the podcast, which is actually going to be a reel. Let me directly schedule it out. So we will schedule it for Instagram and TikTok. Let me make it a reel and schedule it on the 27th of September. Let's go ahead. So once I've scheduled, again, it shows two of the two posts have been sent for approval. Let me quickly check that in the pending review section. So currently we are in Rachel's account. As a content scheduler, she will not have any option to edit the post. She will not have any option to approve the post. I'm sorry. She can edit, delete, or add a tag right here. In case she wants, she can bulk delete the post directly from here or even add a tag if she would want to do that. Now to approve this content, let's jump into my original account wherein we will have the option to approve content. Let me move there. And here we are back. First of all, let's jump to the pending review section to see all the posts which are for review and how I can approve. Here I see three posts which are in the approval stage. One is for Pablo's Chicken and Soup. The other two are for Social Squeeze. Now, if I try to see the option for Pablo's Chicken, I have two options. I can directly approve the post to publish, or I can send it back to Rachel for feedback. Let's say I want her to make any changes in here. I want her to maybe add more images. I can directly tag her, or I can send it back as a feedback to her so she can make those changes and then send it back again for approval. The other case over here for Social Squeeze, I have another option, which is to send it further for a client review. So I can approve the post, which will publish. I can send it back. Or if I want to add a second layer of approval, as Mike also wanted to approve content as a client, I can send it further for client review. So let's approve this post and see what happens. This post has been approved in here. And this should also be scheduled. We remember it was 25th of September. And the post is also here, which has been published. Let's look at the other post, which is for Social Squeeze podcast. Here I have two posts. Let's send both of those to client review. I can even select multiple posts and send both directly to. So once these posts will be sent for client review, you see the posts are still a part of this particular list. However, a new tag is here, which shows pending client review. And if I click, I can also see who can approve that post. So since Mike is the one who has to approve the content, let's quickly move to Mike's account to see how these posts would look like within his account. And here we are in an actual client dashboard. Let's first look at the dashboard in here. We can see in the manage accounts option, he would only have access to his accounts, not any of the other accounts. Even in the calendar, he would only be able to see content which is scheduled for his accounts, not any of the other ones. And he has options to leave a comment for me or to create a post on his own, as we discussed earlier. Now to approve content, Mike will actually go to the pending review section in here, and he should be able to see all the content that is pending for his review. So he can directly approve the post, or similar to the other situation, he can even send it back with a feedback, which will actually send it back. And then I'll have to make some changes and send it back to Mike again. So let's try to approve the post from here, and it will be published. The date was 27th of September. So let's see if the post is in the calendar or not. And here we see, here's the post. Now, what if Mike does not really want to log into the platform? We all discussed how clients often are short on time, and they might want to approve the content, but they would not really want to log into the platform. So for that, we have an amazing feature, which is approvals on the go. Let's try to understand more of the same. Let's move into the existing dashboard. Here we go. So when I'm looking at all of my users in here, I'll have an option to copy an approval link like this. What happens is this is an approval link which I can share with my clients. I can share with other team members from Mike's end as well. And they will all have an option to directly start approving this content just by clicking on the link without even logging into the dashboard. Let's quickly test this feature out by opening this in an incognito mode. And hey, if you don't send it to Mike manually, it's completely fine. These links will always be sent to him via an email. Let's open up the approval link. And once the link will open up, I'll see all the content that is pending for Mike for approval in a particular list view in here, like this. So Mike, once he clicks on this link, he will again have the same options, but without actually logging into the platform, which saves a lot of time for him. And it's possible for him to now approve all the content just by a single click. So he can directly approve the content. He can even send it back, or he can even communicate with my team if he wants to nudge, or if he wants to give any feedback or any comments within the comments option. And this is purely for internal communication. So it would not really be shown on the platform. Let's approve the post from here. So here we just approve the content from Mike's account as well. Let's actually go to understand if the post has been published or not. Let's go back to the main account. Here we are. All right, let's check it in the calendar. So both the posts should be published on the 25th September and the 27th, and we have it right here. Now, the important part to focus over here is without actually setting up a lot of approvals, without using many tools to go with all the approvals, I was able to get approvals from my team. I was also able to get a client approval in case they have some suggestions, feedback, they can directly do that in here as well. And streamlining these approvals will help me save a lot of time, will ensure I'm publishing at a consistent quality. And that's how I can increase my social media strategy. Over to you, Pushkar.
Thanks, Rahul, for taking us through those detailed approval scenarios on SocialPilot. So we have a lot of questions coming in again. Do you think we can pick up maybe a couple of those again, Rahul?
Sure, we can. Why not?
Awesome. Cool. So, how do I get notified when my clients reject the post sent for their approval?
Uh, yes, that's a good question. You do get notified whenever your client sends a post with a feedback, or whenever they send a post for approval. Let me quickly show that to you as well. So here we are in the dashboard. One of the important things to remember while tagging another team member or sending a notification is to make sure you tag that particular team member. If you send it back for review or feedback, you'll anyways receive back. But if you tag them for a comment, this will ensure they are getting one notification. To further manage your settings, you can do it from the notification settings in here. You can find a list of notifications that you will be receiving from SocialPilot. These are for the review. So you can select if you want to be notified immediately or as a daily summary. You can even receive emails or push notifications or both. And these are the options you'll be notified for. So if I send a post for approval, or if it's sent back for correction or has a mention, In these situations, I will be notified or the particular team member will also be notified. And if you have it enabled in your account, you should be receiving those notifications.
Cool, thanks for that, Rahul. So another question is, and this usually happens a lot, right? So what if my clients do not approve the posts on time? What happens to such posts?
Uh, so if they don't approve, a short answer is that it would not be published. However, there is nothing to worry about. It's a very common scenario, as you mentioned, and we can always bypass that approval workflow. So if a client is actually scheduling some content, I can directly go to the pending review section. If it's waiting for client approval, I can bypass that approval from my end and directly approve that content. So it's possible for me as an admin manager or the owner to even bypass the client approval.
Cool. Thanks for that, Rahul. So now that we've seen everything about working on the entire campaign GTM workflow by collaborating with your team and clients, it's time to see how you could actually leverage SocialPilot as your own branded software for collaboration with white label subscription. Once we look at that, we'll take a quick look at some of the latest features on SocialPilot and what's lined up to be released on SocialPilot. So over to you, Rahul.
All right. So if we talk about a white label solution, having a white label solution is having a rebranded version of SocialPilot for your own company. It's going to be a completely rebranded version, starting from the domain, logos, and even the theme. It will also help me give a personalized experience to all of my team members and my clients. I can directly have the ownership of my clients by communicating with them. So any emails, notifications which are supposed to be sent to them will be sent from my email using my using their SMTP details, so I can directly own them. And again, setting up approvals within the white label with the approval links would also be sent by your subdomain is not going to include anything at SocialPilot at all. So let me show you a sample white labeled dashboard as well for a better understanding. And here we go. This is how the login page would look. It can be completely customized. You can have your own company logo on the top here. Uh, this will be linked to your company subdomain, not SocialPilot, and the image can also be edited. This is created for a company called Mento, which is a sample company we have chosen. And let's look at the actual dashboard as well. So here we see it's actually has all the features as SocialPilot. You can connect all your accounts, you can create all your posts, collaborate with your team members, even in the library. And but this is a completely rebranded version. You see your own company logo with a different color scheme that can match your company theme, the logo over here. And again, for any communications which I do, for example, if I want to see any analytics and send out an analytics to one of my clients, even the reports are going to be completely white labeled. So I can directly download, email, or schedule these reports, which will be sent via my email and also in a completely white labeled version. So that is how I can send out white label reports, and I can create my own white label version. And also to mention, this white label dashboard is completely included in the Agency Plus plan. So if you're on the plan, I think it's the right time for you to get started with it. You can directly reach out to our team and they can help you create your own personalized white label dashboard, which can be shared with all your team members and your clients. That is about white label. And next, we are going to talk about some of the new updates which have been launched in SocialPilot. Since the last webinar, we've been talking about it every time about the new updates which we have launched, and also some of the features which are in the roadmap. So let's look at the features which we have already launched, and I'm sure you'll be able to use this within your dashboard as well. The first is notes on calendar. So we just saw how to actually leverage notes, which can be a placeholder. It can actually be a reminder to my team, and the entire team will be able to see it. So they can start creating content for that. I can also set up custom thumbnails or select a thumbnail from the given options. Now it's going to be possible for more platforms via SocialPilot. And yes, adding a thumbnail, it's actually the first thing that anyone would see before clicking on a video or deciding to see the video. So if we have a more attractive, more appealing thumbnail, that can actually have a huge impact at the viewership of the post. We also now have library access to the clients. So in case clients would also want to access some of the templates while creating content, you can give them that access. And there's a holiday calendar as well. So let's quickly jump into the platform to know how to get onto the top of all the recent updates there are in Social Pilot and how I can make sure I know those features well. So once you log in, here is the What's New section in the dashboard, wherein you can see all the features that which we have recently launched. Let's start from the top. Here we have notes on the calendar. As we discussed, it can help you easily outline your campaign plans. And you can also collaborate with your team members by adding these notes on the social media calendar. Again, it can be a reminder, it can be a placeholder, and you can create content. The last webinar was regarding video content. So we've optimized your video uploads even faster. So if you upload any video, it's going to be done even faster with Social Pilot. You can also personalize your custom thumbnails, which can help your video stand out. You can select a thumbnail from the frame, or you can even add a custom thumbnail of your own while you are scheduling it. And then we had an option to organize and plan content with the help of tags. These tags will help me categorize the post based on different topics, different post types, and I can add all of these tags across Social Pilot. So the similar tags that I have here in the library, these tags would automatically be used while I'm creating some post. It will automatically be added over here in the create post. And also the same goes in the calendar as well once the post is eventually scheduled. We also have flexible options for repetitive posts. So in case I would want to repeat my post now, it's especially popular for stories. I can directly select my accounts to which I would want to repeat. And I have an option to select the repetition. I can make it custom, wherein I can select the number of times I wanted to repeat in the number of days. I can even make it a daily, weekly, or a monthly view, select the total number of days, and it will automatically repeat depending on the time and the week I select from here. So these are some of the new updates, and stay tuned to the What's New section for all the new updates that we'll be launching. Over to you, Pushkar, to have a glimpse of the roadmap and show it to all the users.
Hey, thanks, Rahul, for taking us through that uh, what's new section. So do keep an eye out. Let's look at what's coming up on Social Pilot. Right. So first up, we have the YouTube analytics that's going to be released very soon. Users will be able to, look at all the KPIs uh, of YouTube performance right from Social Pilot dashboard. You can definitely download reports of that as well to send it to your clients. Another thing that we're going to release is the custom reports with custom metrics, where there are a lot of scenarios where clients don't need to see all the metrics in the report. They want to see only specific relevant metrics, right? So Social Pilot is going to enable you to download reports with only a few specific custom metrics that you want to share with your clients or that you personally track, right? Another really cool feature is for the Twitter premium users, where we'll be able to schedule and publish long form tweets if you have a premium subscription of Twitter. Another really important feature for people who especially work with enterprises as clients is enabling the two-factor authentication when logging in. Right, this becomes a really essential security protocol for agencies that are working with SocialPilot, or uh, essentially, also if you want to sort of enable it for yourself, if there are multiple people accessing your account in such scenarios. And one really critical feature that is being requested by a lot of users is the ability to sort of upload content in bulk to the library. Right now, we can create or schedule, posts in bulk, but we cannot add them to the library. So going to enable this very soon for all our users. And there are a lot of enhancements that are cooking at SocialPilot. Also, you can request new features at any given point of time by scanning this QR code, or also from the app, where once you log in, you can see the request new feature button on the top right screen of the app. Moving on, uh, you, users can also look at some case studies that we have on our website. You can access them from the link shared in chat. This gives a better understanding of how these agencies and large enterprises or even, SMBs or other brands use Social Pilot, what are the use cases that are, really solved by Social Pilot for their business? And in which scenarios does Social Pilot help? It could be collaboration, it could be scheduling, it could be, optimizing your team bandwidth. Uh, we have a lot of case studies that are already published here on our website. So ensure that you take a quick read at them to, sort of get new ideas in terms of how you could use Social Pilot for your organization. Cool. Moving on, I think this is the most awaited sort of session for the webinar, the Q&A session. Of course, we'll take as many questions as possible within the given time limit. Although you are, free to reach out to our support team to ask any questions at any given point of time for any of your roadblocks, and we'd be, happy to answer those for you instantly. And right now, let's move on to some questions that people have been asking us. Rahul, what's it?
I think now is the time to answer all the questions. So let's go with it.
Awesome. Cool. Um, First question is, how can library be leveraged for team collaboration? Since we spoke about it.
I think library is a place wherein I can collaborate with all my teams. Now it's even possible for me to collaborate with my clients as well. Let me show you the library in here. So any content that I'm saving in the library can be filtered based on which team member has been creating. So let's say if I want to see the content that has been created by Rachel, I can directly see it over here. Or in case I want to provide certain kind of templates, which will give a same tone to my post, making sure all the posts are in the same tone, are in the same format for my social media accounts. That can also be a good way for me to store these templates, or again, the hashtags. Hashtags is something which has real importance these days. And some of us still type out all the hashtags or copy paste it. So having them directly in the library can help me do that. Not just that, we even have some shortcut buttons over here. So while I'm creating some content, I can directly add my hashtags. I can directly access any of the posts in the library as well, which makes it very easy for me to collaborate with my team and suggest them some new ideas. And if I have any top performing posts, that could also be a part of here. I think those could be the few use cases which are there for the library, and it can massively help you collaborate with the team.
Cool, thanks for that, Rahul. Um, so do we have a white label mobile application?
Uh, for now, we do not have that. It's only in the web version. The mobile application is not available as a white label.
Cool. Another thing I think that we spoke about, and this is super relevant, is how do I send branded reports to my clients?
Uh, so sending out a branded report can be done directly from here. Let's look at some of the reports and try to send it out. In the analytics section, I can view reports for all of these 5 platforms. I can even create a combined report. Let's say I want one single report for Pablo. That can be done in the create post section. And I can have only one report for a single business as well, which is going to be possible. Now, if I want to send this post out to the client, I can export it in a PDF format. Don't forget, the client will always have the option, if I enable them to view analytics in the dashboard, they can also do it in their own dashboard. Or I can directly download, email, or even schedule on a monthly, weekly, or a quarterly basis. So these reports are automatically sent to them. The reports will automatically be white labeled in your agency and agency plus plan, provided you have the right logo uploaded over here in the organization option. Whichever logo that you upload over here will automatically be added to all of the reports as well. So that's how I can actually send out all the white label reports. In fact, in the white label version with the agency plus plan, we also have an option wherein which the reports will be sent out via your email using your SMTP details. So it's not going to be sent via SocialPilot's email. So that is covered all in the agency plus plan with the white label solution.
Cool, thanks for that, Rahul. So another question is, I only need to send an overview of analytics. My clients neither have the technical expertise nor the time to review a 10-page report. Can we do that?
I get your point. This is a PDF report. which you can see. It's a branded report as well. At the moment, sending a shorter report or sending just a one-page report for all the accounts is not possible. However, a good news for the person who's asked this question is that we are coming up with this feature. It's already a part of the roadmap, wherein you will be able to customize your reports. You will be able to have some widgets from the report as well. And yeah, that should be possible down the line in the future. However, for now, you will be able to send out the complete reports.
Cool. Another question is I need to control what platforms my clients have access to. Can I do that and how do I do that?
You can select that. So while I'm adding my clients, let me quickly show that to you. So once I want to invite a user and I want to make them a client, I do have the option to give them access to the accounts directly from here. Or if I don't have their account credentials or admin access and I'm offering them, let's say, Facebook and Instagram based on the contract, I can directly send them an invite and they will have an option to connect these accounts on their own. So this is the way I can select which accounts my clients can connect in their own dashboards.
Cool. We'll take the last two questions, Rahul. So I think we'll pick up this one. This is very relevant to the topic, right? So how can I create an external workflow for my clients? I think what we mean here is, I think the whole approval on the core process.
Uh, to create an external workflow, approval workflow, I just need to assign approvers to my individual accounts. So first, I need to ensure that I've actually added up as a client from here in the users option and give them the relevant access to the accounts as well as we saw. So for example, we discussed earlier, Mike is already there in my account. Let's go to Mike's account in here, social squeeze. And if I want to make sure that all the content created for this account has to be approved, I can just simply check this need client approval option and it will automatically be approved. Now it's up to Mike. He can directly approve it by logging into the platform in his own dashboard, or he can even use approvals on the go, which can directly be approved via a client invite link.
Cool. I think this would be the last question for the evening. Can I add clients in bulk?
Uh, yes, you can. Uh, In fact, that's a very good question. You can actually add clients in the users option. We saw how to add clients in here by inviting them. In here, I can directly add up to 10 different emails. So all the 10 clients can be added. But yeah, adding clients in bulk would be more than 10 accounts. So for that as well, we do have an option in here. So I can basically create a client invite link in here. What happens is that I can create a client invite link, which looks something like this. I can make sure I give the relevant permission on the link, whichever accounts I'm offering to my clients, I can add all of those here. And I can simply copy this link and send it out to all of my clients. Let me show you the link as well. We'll have a much better understanding with that. Let's go to an incognito window and open up the client approval link. By the way, in the white labeled version, this complete dashboard is going to be white labeled for you as well with the image, with the domain. And once the client would like to sign in, this is how they can sign up directly using the client invite link. So I can just put this link upon my website or I can broadcast it to all of my clients and they will all have an option to sign up using the same. And this is how it would look like. An interesting thing to see over here is that they only have the option to connect Facebook and Instagram because that is what I enabled earlier in the platform. They would not have the option to connect all the other accounts as it is in SocialPilot. I think that's the way we can add clients in bulk, and that should make your life a lot easier.
Thanks for answering that, Rahul. With that, I think on that note, we'll close this webinar. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Really appreciate your time and hope you got to learn a lot from this. And feel free to reach out to our support team for any further questions. Make sure you follow us on all our social media accounts so that you can get your hands on the latest tips and tricks on using SocialPilot and more. Thank you so much. See you at the next webinar. Goodbye.